Hi guys, welcome to Simply Scuba. Here we have the Aqua Lung Cisors. So these come in two different sizes, so I've got both of them in front of me just so you can see the comparison. And these are a very clever sort of combination. They're basically, if you sort of blended a knife with a pair of gardening shears into a single thing, and this is kind of the offspring. So, as you can see, first of all, they come with these sort of rubberized leg straps, simple pinch clip design, so you can mount it onto a leg, and so you get a pair of those in the box with you. And then onto the knife itself. So it comes in a plastic sheath to sort of keep it nice and safe, very strong and secure because we have this sort of double pinch sort of clip design, so you're never going to sort of drop the knife accidentally. Even if one is kind of depressed, it really isn't going anywhere. You have to sort of press both of them, which kind of means that you naturally have a grip of the knife when you sort of go to draw it, and putting it away they're self-guiding, so it's pretty simple, and you can put it away. No, you only have to put it in one way, unfortunately. It has to go in sort of one way. So simple sheath, and then the knife itself. So this is the smaller version. It has a pointed tip, which I'm not a huge fan on, but it's not going to sort of break anything for me. Long, straight cutting edge on the underside. We have a small little line cutting notch down at the bottom, serrated cutting edge at the top. So it's got kind of all the features that you want on a traditional dive knife if you're cutting through sort of anything, whether it's sort of thick or thin or a tiny little sort of fishing line. You've got all of that, but for more controlled sort of cutting, if you need something more like scissors, you can undo this little sort of latch here, and then the spring-loaded section sort of opens up, and then we have this sort of cutting shear action. So if you put anything inside of that, you can cut through that with relative ease. They definitely feel like gardening shears, which is a good thing, and it's a nice strong cutting edge. So if you're cutting through someone's sort of webbing on their BCD, you can cut through with sort of greater ease. The only downside is that you have the rest of the knife, so you do have to be a little bit careful, but it does give you more control over sort of what you're cutting through. On the inside here, we've got a small sort of section of pliers. So if you need to use it as a bit of a plier, you can sort of wrench something open. So yeah, it's very practical. So this is the smaller of the two. I'll also note we've got a sort of metal end onto it, and this has a lanyard loop, so you can attach a lanyard onto it. This always makes life a lot safer, so you're not going to drop your knife, or even if you do drop your knife, it's attached onto something. And the metal end, a lot of people use that as a bit of a tank banger, but that's definitely up to you whether you want to. And then we're going to move on to the larger of the two. So this is the standard size. So as you can see, this is the sort of comparative size. It's about an inch, maybe an inch and a half longer. It has a bit more of a spear tip, so it's kind of, it's got a cutting edge on both sides, and the serrated edge continues much farther. So if you're really cutting through large sort of lines, then yes, you're definitely going to be sort of using this kind of knife. A little bit big for my liking. Another thing I've just noticed is it has another notch in here. So if you're cutting through something a little bit stronger, a bit thicker, and you can get it into that little notch, it's going to really apply a lot of pressure onto that, so you can cut through some pretty tough stuff. But other than that, it has all the same features as the smaller knife, but for me personally, it's a little bit oversized. I usually prefer sort of much smaller knives. It's rare that I'm cutting through really thick rope, but yeah, if you are cutting through some pretty serious stuff and you want that kind of multi-tool that will do everything, then yeah, the AquaLung scissors are definitely the way to go. Yeah, these are the AquaLung scissors. Thanks for watching, and safe diving.
We are an online dive store serving the UK and the world for all your diving equipment needs. So why not visit us at simplyscuba.com or click the box on your screen.